Hello everyone, Will the Outlaw here, and today we are going to be taking a look at Transformers Studio Series 86 Galvatron. The trend of War for Cybertron trilogy figures being repainted into Studio Series releases continues with Galvatron here, the reformatted Megatron and Herald of Unicron. This is a straight up repaint of Kingdom Galvatron that was released a couple years ago. That figure was a little controversial due to the battle damage deco and the fact that the shoulders were misassembled. This figure has been re-released a couple times since then in varying decos, and this is supposed to be the ultimate screen-accurate version of Galvatron. Taking a look at the figure itself, and the differences between this and the original are immediately apparent. The changes are all cosmetic, however, with the main purple adding a little blue tint allowing it to be more screen-accurate. The paint apps evoke the matte animated look, which I think fits this mold way better than the original. There's a lot of paint on this guy, and it gives it a real masterpiece vibe. I'm going to be comparing this to the original Kingdom version that had the battle damage paint apps and misassembled shoulders. I have since removed the battle damage and correctly reassembled the shoulders. Comparing the two, there seems to be very little mold degradation. They both feel big and heavy, with all the joints tight and fluid. Even the head sculpt for both figures are exactly the same, save for the paint apps, of course. The Kingdom version has a shiny silver paint. It looks nice, but the Studio Series has a more toon-accurate matte look. I prefer the Studio Series version simply because I think it just fits the mold better, and the combination of the two makes it look right off the 86 movie it's based on. Even though this mold is around 4 years old, it's still pretty much a perfect representation of Galvatron. I guess my only complaint is the arm kibble here. It does move out of the way via these joints, but it's just big enough to be somewhat noticeable. As little kibble as this thing has, there is one spot that it definitely gets in the way. Ball jointed head, universal shoulder joints that can go forward, back, in and out, double jointed elbows, wrist swivel, waist swivel, hips that go forward, back, in and out, thigh cut, 90 knees, and an ankle tilt. As I said before, there is one piece that gets in the way of articulation, and it's right here at the waist. This back piece can get in the way of hip pieces and waist rotation. It can be moved out of the way, but it doesn't give it much more range. Galvatron comes with a good number of accessories, same as his previous release. First off, he comes with his arm cannon. The clear plastic of the previous version has been replaced with a solid, more toon-accurate piece. The coloring on this particular piece is by far the best example of the toon aesthetic being superior to the original. Also included is his two quote-unquote blasters that are oddly similar to what the Revenge, the ship Unicron gave to him, looks like. They can be double-wielded, combined, or simply placed on his back for a more intimidating look. Galvatron also comes with another matrix. This time it's on a chain. I honestly really dislike this rigid plastic they use for the chain. I wish it was an actual chain or even a piece of rope or something. I even would have been glad to give up the double blasters if it meant getting an actual chain accessory, but this is what we got. Transformation remains unchanged from the previous figure. Arms and legs don't do much, but the real fun part of the transformation is definitely how the torso transforms. The torso opens up and flips around to form the bulk of what will be the stationary cannon. Everything taps in tightly, and the alt mode is as solid and bulky as it ever was. And yes, he transforms into a treaded tripod cannon. I really like the design of this thing. I've always thought this treaded cannon fits more and makes more sense than a gun in terms of alt mode. The look of the alt mode is surprisingly cohesive with the matte colors carrying over from the bot mode. While I do prefer the colors of the Studio Series one, I plan on keeping the Kingdom version in alt mode on my desk. I like it that much. The two guns can be placed here around his main cannon, and they look so freaking good here. They look so good, I think I prefer this look over them being off. It's even better when you attach the blast effects. Even the Matrix has a spot. While it only sits around his neck in robot mode, there's a dedicated peg hole in this one, in order to recreate where it went in the 86 film. This cannon is one of the few non-beast alt modes that has actual articulation. The treads and back stabilizer can be adjusted in order to move the cannon up and down. If you get these down on the surface just right, you can roll it around on the small wheels embedded here. It's honestly so much fun to be able to do the doot-de-doo of doom. This mold is one of the bigger, chunkier modern leader class figures available, and while the first version of this mold was great, this version just looks better in every way, and that fact alone justified me buying the figure again. It does look good with the other Studio Series 86 figures, but now we need a Studio Series 86 Rodimus Prime to go along with this version. I mean, the Kingdom Rodimus was great, but I think a Toon-inspired deco would go a long way on that mold. I rarely double dip on a figure unless it's a different character, but my absolute need for screen accuracy made me jump on this figure without hesitation. I'm seriously surprised by the lack of mold degradation here, and the colors are just so nice to my eyes. This just makes it clear to me that I was right in my decision to stick to official figures and not go third party or masterpiece with my Transformers displays. All in all, this mold has held up really well considering the speedy leaps and bounds Transformers engineering has done in the last 5 years. I honestly haven't touched this figure since I got it, and getting this new version has really made me appreciate it for what it is. A really fun and great representation of the new Decepticon leader. Bottom line, while this figure offers nothing new in terms of engineering, if you want a truly screen accurate version of Galvatron, this is the way to go. Plus, it fits that much better with the aesthetic of recent Studio Series 86 figures. Well, that was my look at Transformers Studio Series 86 Galvatron. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all soon.
Laters!
Check out my Patreon for early access to my videos and shoutouts on future videos. Join up and let's talk toys.